Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about how Mike Evans has made the 2024 Pro Bowl for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr. are first alternates. Baker Mayfield is a third alternate, and Vita Vea is a fifth alternate. What does it mean to be an alternate? Well, essentially that means is if one of the players who was selected for the 2024 Pro Bowl decides not to go or cannot go for one reason or another, then they would begin to go down the lists of the alternates. In the case of Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr., they are first on the list. So if any of the safeties that were selected cannot go, Antoine Winfield Jr. would be the first guy on the list to get offered the spot in the Pro Bowl, and the same thing with Tristan Wirfs as well. Baker is the third alternative. There are a couple of quarterbacks in front of him. I'm not sure who those quarterbacks are, and Vita Vea is fifth. There are a few defensive tackles in front of him as well. But again, hey, congratulations to Mike Evans on making yet another Pro Bowl. Absolutely deserves it. I have his stats pulled up right here. 1,233 receiving yards this year, 13 receiving touchdowns on 76 receptions. You take a look at the targets this year, Mike Evans is 17th in the league. In terms of receptions, Mike Evans is all the way down at 26. However, in receiving yards, Mike Evans is coming in at number 10. In terms of receiving touchdowns, Mike Evans is number 1. So this is something that definitely makes a lot of sense for the NFL to have Mike Evans in there. Again, congratulations to Mike Evans. It is his 5th Pro Bowl of the year. I don't believe they have included this latest one yet. They have not. So Mike Evans' 5th total Pro Bowl to go along with a Super Bowl championship as well. He just continues to build his Hall of Fame resume, folks. But along with Mike Evans getting selected, we have a pretty big snub. In fact, the number 1 snub, according to NFL.com, and that was Mr. Antoine Winfield Jr. Now, Kevin Patra had written an article talking about this here on NFL.com where he had listed some players who have been snubbed, and yes, Tristan Wirfs is in there, and I will say Tristan Wirfs has been fantastic this year, but the switch from right tackle to left tackle, it makes sense that some people may be a bit down on him, even though Bucs fans know that he's been fantastic. Maybe next year is whenever he will will get in starting at a left tackle. If he was still at right tackle, I'm pretty sure he would have got in, but him coming in at left tackle is, maybe a reason as to why he was down there. But as you can see, ranking all these Pro Bowl snubs, you have a lot of different names on here. Josh Allen was a snub, Quincy Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Again, according to NFL.com, Antoine Winfield Jr. was the number 1 guy here who was not on the Pro Bowl list. He's a first alternate, which means he's probably going to get in, right? Fingers crossed. Hopefully Winfield Jr. gets in, but Winfield's been fantastic this year. He really, really has been. You take a look at the safeties who did get in. You have Jesse Bates, you have Budda Baker of the Arizona Cardinals, and you have Julian Love of the Seattle Seahawks. For deep, I would also say that personally, Levante David's probably a snub, but he was banged up a little bit this year. I guess it does make a little bit of sense. Vita Vea, Aaron Donald, Dexter Lawrence, and Javon Hargrave, that's just a good group of guys. I mean, that's going to be very tough to break through that. In the case of Baker Mayfield, no. I mean, I'm just happy that Baker Mayfield's an alternate. I mean, that's great news. That is great news. Rashad White, meh, maybe he should be an alternate, maybe he shouldn't, but, it is what it is down the line. I think Rashad White should have maybe been an alternate, so a little bit of a snub there. But of course, Winfield Jr. is the biggest snub because he should have been on the initial list. He really should have been. And you guys can pause and read this if you want this paragraph, but it talks about Baker Mayfield's stats and whatnot, and just how good Winfield Jr. has been this year. You have 117 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, 5 forced fumbles, 4 fumbles recovered, 3 interceptions, and 12 passes defended. He was fantastic this year. Absolutely fantastic. And whenever you look at Jesse Bates, Budda Baker, and Julian Love, I think out of those 3, really the only guy that you could make an argument who has had a better season than Winfield Jr. is Jesse Bates. And I'm going to take it a step further. We are going to go down the stats and compare the 3 who did make it to the Pro Bowl versus Winfield Jr. And let's start off with combined tackles. So Jesse Bates has more with 128. He is 17th in the entirety of the league. This is all defensive players, by the way, not just safeties. I've just highlighted Antoine Winfield Jr. and the other 3 safeties that were actually selected to the Pro Bowl roster, just to compare these 4 guys. So Jessie Bates does have more tackles. Winfield Jr. is second. He has 1 more tackle than Julian Love. Where's Budda Baker? Well, he's not in the top 50. You actually have to go all the way down to number 106 to get to Budda Baker, who, by the way, has only played in 11 ball games this year. So Winfield Jr. is second. He's above Julian Love. He's above Budda Baker. Jessie Bates has more tackles than him. Let's go to solo tackles. Where did the guys come in there? Well, Jessie Bates is number 1. Julian Love is number 2. Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 3 out of the 4. And then Budda Baker is a very distant number 4 with 50 solo tackles, all the way at 118. Antoine Winfield Jr. is 30th in the NFL right now out of all defenders. Julian Love is 14th. Jessie Bates is 8th. So solo tackles, you got to give the nod to Bates and Julian Love there, but Winfield Jr. is still in the top 3. That's important to note there. What about tackles for loss? Let's take a look at that stat. Well, you got to go down far to get to these safeties. Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1 with 5. That is tied with Budda Baker, so Budda Baker finally gets on the board here at some point. Jessie Bates comes in at number 3 with 3, and then you have somewhere very far down this list, you're going to have Julian Love with 1. So, okay, Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1. So Antoine Winfield Jr. has not been out of the top 3 for any of these statistics right now. He's either been number 1 or number 2. Interesting thing to note there, in my opinion. Let's go to quarterback hits. Getting after the quarterback is something that's very important, especially for safeties in today's NFL, depending on how you want to use them. Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1 with 7 quarterback hits. Interesting. Let's keep on going down the list. Where is going to be number 2? Jessie Bates with 1 quarterback hit comes in at number 2. Okay. What about number 3? Are we going to get anybody on here? You're going to get Budda Baker with 0, and I imagine Julian Love also has 0. So, okay, Antoine Winfield Jr. has more quarterback hits than any safety that actually made the Pro Bowl for the NFC. Interesting. Okay, that's certainly notable, certainly worth talking about. What about sacks? Let's get after sacks. Again, getting after the quarterback, important. Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1. Okay, so we have showcased that Antoine Winfield Jr.'s ability to get after the quarterback is better than any of these safeties who were on here. And maybe this because these guys are more coverage guys. Maybe it's not. We'll dive into those stats here in a minute also. But Jessie Bates has 0 sacks. You have Budda Baker with 0 sacks. And you have Julian Love with 0. So, yeah, Antoine Winfield Jr. smokes these guys in terms of sacks on the year. This is to showcase Budda Baker, or I guess I should say Antoine Winfield Jr.'s versatility and just ability to get after the quarterback. What about forced fumbles? Well, Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1 out of all the safeties. You have Jessie Bates coming in number 2 with a respectable 3. You have Julian Love coming in 3rd with a respectable 2. Budda Baker has... How many does he have, folks? He has... Ooh, we're at zeros. We're at zeros here, folks. Where is he? Where is he? Where's Budda Baker? Not even on the list, as far as I can tell, guys. He's not even registering on the list of forced fumbles, folks. We're looking at a lot of safeties here. We're going down a lot. Keep in mind, Budda Baker is highlighted, so we would see him if he was on here. I don't see him on here. Do you guys see him on here? We see Julian Love. He's got 2. Who else is on here? Jessie Bates is on here with 3. Antoine Winfield Jr. is on there with 5. Okay, Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1. What about fumbles recovered? How about that? Winfield Jr. is number 1 with 4. Okay. So Winfield Jr. can force takeaways and also get takeaways. Julian Love comes in 2nd with 1. Jessie Bates, does he have 1 or does he have none? He's going to have... we really got to go down the list here, folks. He has 0. Okay, and I don't even see Budda Baker on this list. We're down to 400-something people, so... Okay, Winfield Jr. is number 1 in that category as well. What about interceptions? Okay. Jessie Bates is number 1 with 6. Julian Love is number 2 with 4. Antoine Winfield Jr. is 3rd with 3. Where is Mr. Budda Baker? He doesn't have an interception on the year, folks, as far as I can tell. Again, he is highlighted on these lists. He is. I don't see him. Do you guys? I don't. So Budda Baker's not on the list for interceptions. Okay, what about passes defended? Maybe he is farther up on this list. Antoine Winfield Jr. is number 1. Jesse Bates is number 2 with 11. Julian Love is number 3 with 10. Where's Budda Baker? I don't see him on this list. I don't. He's not even on these. We're at 2. We're at 1. This isn't a New Year's countdown, folks. It's not on the list. He hasn't registered any pass deflections this year. I mean, that's it. That's all the stats. So just from looking at it, again, Jesse Bates is here. Antoine Winfield Jr. is here. Julian Love is here. Budda Baker's here, folks. It's not like he hasn't been included in this list. He's very clearly highlighted right here. Any way you look at it, any way you slice it, Antoine Winfield Jr. is in the top 3 for all of these statistics. All of them, in most cases, leading in a lot of these stats. I don't mind that Jesse Bates got in. Jesse Bates is a fantastic safety. He does a wonderful job. Julian Love has had a very, very good season and has done some very, very good things. Why the heck did Budda Baker get in here? Why? He doesn't have any stats. He's on a poor team. And he plays the same position as Antoine Winfield Jr. at free safety. I mean, I'm dumbfounded. I'm confused. I'm lost. He hasn't registered any interceptions. He hasn't registered any forced fumbles, any fumbles recovered, no quarterback hits, no sacks. What are we talking about here, man? Genuinely, what are we talking about here? Antoine Winfield Jr. got snubbed, folks. You can see it clear as day. Budda Baker's in there. Julian Love's in there. Jesse Bates is in there. Jesse Bates, again, he deserves to go. Julian Love, I think you can make a legitimate argument. I'm not trying to hate on Budda Baker, but the proof is in the stats pudding, folks. That Antoine Winfield Jr. should have made a Pro Bowl. He's probably going to be an All-Pro, but he didn't get selected to the Pro Bowl. Baffling, folks. Absolutely baffling. We just took a look at the stats, and Antoine Winfield Jr. is literally in the top 3 out of these 4 guys, if not leading in most of the statistical categories, but Budda Baker got in. In fact, Budda Baker's played 5 less games than these guys, and he still got in. Julian Love has started 5 less games than these guys, and he still got in. Over Winfield Jr. It's insane. Again, it just feels like the national disrespect continues here for the Bucs. Shouldn't even really be that surprising at this point, but this is definitely a shake your head kind of moment. And I just wanted to highlight it. But hey, congratulations to Mike Evans. Congratulations for actually making the roster. Congrats to Winfield, Vita Vea, Baker Mayfield, and Tristan Wirfs for being alternates. You know, it's something. These are the types of things that help guys get money as well, by the way. So, like, the NFL is taking, his fellow players and coaches who voted on this are taking money out of Winfield Jr.'s pocket for him getting the bag. I'm sure Winfield Jr. would love to add a Pro Bowl to that list, a second Pro Bowl to go along with his Super Bowl championship ring. It would just continue to showcase the greatness of him. Also, probably an All-Pro in there as well now. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, but it's also not surprising given the lack of national disrespect for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now that Brady is left. So it is what it is. But guys, what do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.